maybe not. Arya Govind Prabhu, are you able to do the Mangalacharan for today?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji has his hand raised. He has something to say?
No, Mataji, it's by mistake.
Okay. I thought you wanted to do the Mangalacharan, but still you do the Mangalacharan. So that's okay. Hi.
Yeah, it's okay,
thank you very much.
Yeah.
Sorry?
No, if Prabhuji wants to do, he can do it. It's okay. I just found it.
Mataji, you can continue.
Mataji, Chandni Mataji, you do the Mangalacharan, please.
Very good.
Arya Govind Prabhu can read the verse and the poem, but if Indulekhamataji so desires. But you do the Mangalacharan. Okay, Hare Krishna. Everybody, we are starting the session. We are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on chapter 2, canto 5, which is the cause of all causes. And the text for today is 30. Thank you, Indulekhamataji, for making yourselves available. Please accept our Dandavat Pranam. Please accept our Koti Koti Pranam from all in the group who have joined and about to join. Let's start the session with Chandni Mataji doing the Mangalacharan. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Agyana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namustute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpadharubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanamat Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Govinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you, Mataji, for nicely reciting this Mangalacharan. So I will start with some prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatadi Satarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukham karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatamaham bande Shri Guru Dinataranam Ramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nashtapraisha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavate Sevaya Bhagavate Uttam Shlokir Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So today we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 5, text 30. I will read the text and the synonyms word to word, and the purport is quite long, so I will request somebody else to take over after I have read kind of half of the purport. Thank you. So we'll start. Text 30. Vaikarika Vaikarikan Manojagyen Deva Vaikarika Dasha Vatarka Prachitosvi Vahnindropendra Mitrakaha Vaikarikan Manojagye Deva Vaikarikadasa Digvatarka Prachitosvi Vahnindropendra Mitrakaha. So Vaikarikat, from the modes of goodness, Manaha, the mind, Jagye, generated, Devaha, demigods, Vaikarikaha, in the mode of goodness, Dasha, 10, Dik, the controller of directions, Vata, the controller of air, Arka, the sun, Prachetaha, Varuna, Asvi, the Ashwini Kumaras, Vahni, the fire god, Indra, the king of heaven, Upendra, the deity in heaven, Mitra, one of the 12 Adityas, Kaha, Prajapati, Brahma. Translation: from the modes of goodness, the mind is generated and becomes manifest, as also the 10 demigods controlling the bodily movements. Such demigods are known as the controller of directions, the controller of air, the sun god, the father of Daksha Prajapati, the Ashwini Kumaras, the fire god, the king of heaven, the worshipable deity in heaven, the chief of the Adityas, and Brahmaji, the Prajapati, all come into existence. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Vaikarika is the neutral stage of creation, and Tejas is the initiative of creation, while Tamas is in full display of material creation under the spell of the darkness of ignorance. Manufacture of the necessities of life in factories and workshops, excessively prominent in the age of Kali or in the age of the machine, is a summit stage of the quality of darkness. Such manufacturing enterprises by human society are in the mode of darkness because factually there is no necessity for the commodities manufactured. Human society primarily requires food and for subsistence, shelter for sleeping, defense for protection, and commodities for satisfaction of the senses. The senses are the practical signs of life, as will be explained in the next verse. Human civilization is meant for purifying the senses, and objects of sense satisfaction should be supplied as much as absolutely required, but not for aggravating artificial sensory needs. Food, shelter, defense, and sense gratification are all needs in material existence. Otherwise, in his pure uncontaminated state of original life, the living entity has no such needs. The needs are therefore artificial. And in the pure state of life, there are no such needs. As such, increasing artificial needs, as is a standard of material civilization, or advancing the economic development of human society, is a sort of engagement with darkness without knowledge. Such engagement, human energy is spoiled. By such engagement, human society is spoiled, because human energy is primarily meant for purifying the senses in order to engage them in satisfying the senses of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord, being the supreme possessor of spiritual senses, he is a master of the senses, Rishikesa. Rishikesa means the senses, and Rishika means the senses, and Isha means the master. The Lord is not the servant of the senses, or in other words, he is not directed by the dictation of the senses, but the conditioned soul or the individual living entities are servants of the senses. They are conducted by the direction or dictation of the senses, and therefore, material civilization is a kind of engagement in sense gratification. The standard of human civilization should be to cure the disease of sense gratification, and one can do this simply by becoming an agent for satisfying the spiritual senses of the Lord. The senses are never to be stopped in their engagement, but one should purify them by engaging them in the pure service of sense gratification of the master of senses. This is the instruction of the whole Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna wanted first of all to satisfy his own senses by his decision not to fight with his kinsmen and friends. But Lord Shri Krishna taught him the Bhagavad Gita just to purify Arjuna's decision for sense gratification. Therefore, Arjuna agreed to satisfy the senses of the Lord, and thus he fought the battle of Kurukshetra as the Lord desired. So can anybody please continue? Arya Govind Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna, I can read.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
The Vedas instruct us to get out of the existence of darkness and go forward on the path of light. Tamasima Jyotirgama. The path of light is therefore to satisfy the senses of the Lord. Misguided men or less intelligent men follow the path of self-realization without any attempt to satisfy the transcendental senses of the Lord. By following the path shown by Arjuna and other devotees of the Lord, on the contrary, they artificially try to stop the activities of senses, yoga system, or they deny the transcendental senses of the Lord, gnana system. The devotees, however, are above the yogis and the gnanis because pure devotees do not deny the senses of the Lord. They want to satisfy the senses of the Lord. Only because of darkness of ignorance do the yogis and gnanis deny the senses of the Lord and thus artificially try to control the activities of the diseased senses. In the disease condition of the senses, there is too much engagement of the senses in increasing material needs. When one comes to see the disadvantage of aggravating the sense activities, one is called gnani. And when one tries to stop the activities of the senses by the practice of yogic principles, he is called a yogi. But when one is fully aware of the transcendental senses of the Lord and tries to satisfy his senses, one is called a devotee of the Lord. The devotees of the Lord do not try to deny the senses of the Lord, nor do they artificially stop the actions of the senses, but they do voluntarily engage the purified senses in the service of the master of the senses, as was done by Arjuna, thereby easily attaining the perfection of satisfying the Lord, the ultimate goal of all perfection. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to purify my Vani, my speech. And it's kind of nice to share a little bit whatever we know with all of you. And thank you again for taking your time to put up with me. Thank you, Hare Krishna. So today we are dealing with Canto 2, Chapter 5, verse 30. So we have been talking a lot about, and this is the creation. We see here two great personalities, Narada. So we will go back a little bit, like a couple of verses before, just to see the setting, how we are going to approach this verse, the 30th verse. And here we see the conversation is this chapter is basically giving us like the insight of Lord Brahma and Narad Muni. So Narad Muni is asking intelligent questions. He always asks a question from Lord Brahma, and this time he is asking question about the creation and the cause and of all causes. So and Brahmaji is very happy. He is going to ask all these questions. So as we know, like Lord Brahma, he is a first teacher, and he is a secondary creator. After he was created, then the Lord created the universe, and then he started to kind of feel it. He was the second creator. And then here he is giving some insights and information and on how the whole manifestation has been created. And so amazingly, we see that the engineer who created this manifestation, he did not use any machines. Nowadays, we see how many machines are being used to create little building, but the Supreme Lord, he did not use any of these whatever amenities needed. He didn't use any. So an engineer who uses machineries, they will be able to tell us the purpose of the machine, and they will be able to tell us about the machine itself, about the parts, about the errors that could happen by default, and how to use the machine properly for maximum benefit. But here, the Supreme Lord, he didn't use any device to create this universe. Simply by his glance, he agitated Mother Nature and the creation happened. So we also know that Narad Muni, he is a very great preacher, and he's always trying to make people, the low fallen soul, become devotees of the Lord. He's always trying to get everyone to become closer to the Lord. And in this regard, we know that he is a spiritual master of many great personalities. So we know that he's a spiritual master of Vyasadeva, and he preached to Valmiki Muni, who was a decoy, and turned him into Valmiki Muni. He preached to Prahlad Maharaj when Prahlad Maharaj was still in the womb of his mother. Prahlad Maharaj, we know, is the son of the demon Hiranyakashipu. And when Hiranyakashipu was doing meditation, he was terrorizing everyone. And when he was away doing meditation, all the devtas, mostly Indra, they took his wife away, and they said that if their father is a big demon, the son who is in the womb of the mother must be a demon as well. So they wanted to kill Prahlad Maharaj when he was in the womb of his mother. His mother's name was Kayadu. So Narad Muni intervened when the devtas were taking Kayadu away, and Narad Muni, he took Kayadu to his ashram, and while every day he will tell katha, he will narrate the stories of the Supreme Lord, and from there Prahlad Maharaj was listening. That's how he became a great devotee. He was always listening to what Narad Muni was saying. So still from the womb of his mother, he was listening to the kathas. So then we know also that Narad Muni is the guru of Dhruv Maharaj. When Dhruv Maharaj was going to the forest, and he wanted to see the Lord, so Narad Muni is trying to convince him, "You're only 5 years old. You were too young. You have to go home." He said, "No, you will go." Then, seeing the endeavor of Dhruva Maharaj, Narad Muni gave him the mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So that's on what he meditated. And then within 6 months, at the age of, before he was 6 years old, the Lord manifested in front of him. So these two great personalities, we know Narayan manifested in front of Dhruva Maharaj, and Narasimhadeva appeared from the pillar in front of Prahlad Maharaj. So both of them, their guru is Narad Muni. And there is another story of the 12,000 sons of Daksha Prajapati. Daksha Prajapati sent 10,000 sons in the forest for meditation, and then told them that, okay, when you come back, I'm going to look for suitable girls for you and get you married and settle down and all. But Narad Muni intercepted on the way back and convinced them. Within 10 minutes of preaching to them, 10,000 of them became great devotees. They became brahmachari. They didn't go to their father back. Daksha got very angry, and he created 2,000 more, and Narad Muni did the same. So then Daksha got so angry, so he went to Brahmaji. He said, "Brahmaji, why Narad Muni is making all my children become brahmachari?" So then Brahmaji said, "You know what? Don't create sons, create daughters." So we see from Daksha Prajapati, I think she had 16 daughters, like Parvati and all the rishis' wives. They were the daughters of Daksha Prajapati. So here again, and then we know about he is a guru of Parvati Mata, the consort of Lord Shiva. And also he counseled so many great kings. He counseled even Kamsa. He kind of prompted Kamsa to kill the first child of Devaki and Vasudeva, so that because he wanted to accelerate the advent of Lord Shri Krishna to this material world. If Kamsa didn't kill the first child, then they would say, okay, he is not going to kill our children. But then Narad Muni said, okay, Kamsa said, I am going to be killed by the 8th son of Devaki. Then Narad Muni said, okay, how do you count 8? From 1 to 8, if you count 8 to 1, which one is the 8th one? You don't know. So in this way, he prompted. So sometimes he is also this kind of an instigator. Instigate things, and then steer things, and then he will just leave and go, and people will have to deal with it. So that is his job. So Lord Brahma, he was very happy because he wanted to answer all the questions of Narad Muni. As we know, they are both very up to each other. Like one can ask good question, one can give the answer. At the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, we see that the hearer and the listener should be on the same level so that they can understand each other. So that is stated there. So Lord Brahma said to Narad Muni that he was very satisfied about the question he received from him, and he was going to reply all the answers. He did not take any credit. He did not say that, yes, I did that, he didn't do that. But Narad Muni also was a very austere and compassionate person. He would travel around the whole other planetary system, whole universe, just to deliver the living entities, the fallen souls who were suffering in this material world. He would just liberate them. So he had the opportunity he often had the opportunity to ask questions from Lord Brahma. He took it as a prime benediction for himself, to be able to question Lord Brahma. That was for his preaching purposes on Lord Shri Krishna. That's what he was always asking. So today we will be discussing some very special aspects about the creation. And as we already know, the discussion is going on between Lord Brahma and Narad Muni. So in his purport, Srila Prabhupada said that machines, we manufacture big machines. Yeah. So how are we able to create this machine? How are we able to do that? So it's just because we are the superior energy of the Lord. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Shri Krishna talks about it. It's about the superior energy and about the prakriti, inferior prakriti and superior prakriti. And it's like the parashakti and the aparashakti. That's what he mentioned. And in chapter 7, verses 4 and 5, he says, Bhumya ponalo vayu kam mano buddhir evacha ahankara ityam me bhinna prakritir astada. And then text 5 goes, apareyam itastanyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhuta mahabaho yeyadam dharyate jagat. The translation goes, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. All together, these 8 perceptions constitute my separated material energies. Besides these almighty armed Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mine, which comprises of the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this inferior material nature. So we see that we are superior energy of the Lord. Because we are superior energies, that's why we are able to construct like big building, manufacturing all kind of machineries and doing all these kind of so-called economic development, which we don't need, which Prabhupada has explained his purpose. We really don't need all these. So we are superior because we are part and parcels of the Supreme Lord Krishna. That's why we are superior. So this is, Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita chapter 15, verse 7, Mamaevamso jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manaha sasthani prakritiristani karsati. So he is confirming that we are part and parcel of him. So he says, the living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the 6 senses, which include the mind. So because we are superior, right, part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, we are able to manipulate the inferior matter, which is the material nature. We are manipulating the material nature. So, but the supreme manipulator is who? He's a Supreme Lord, right? And how did he start this material world? He just set everything into motion through his effulgence, which is his effulgence come out of his body, right? And that effulgence which comes out of his body is called Brahma Jyoti, and the spiritual sky, that is Brahma Jyoti. Now, in Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma, he confirmed this. He says in Brahma Samhita, he says, Yasya prabha prabhavato jagatanda koti kotishu asesha vasudhati vibhuti bhinnam tad brahma niskalam anantam asesha bhutam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. He said, I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose effulgence is a source of the non-differentiated Brahman mentioned in the Upanishad. So being differentiated from the infinity of glories of the mundane universe appears as an individual, indivisible, infinite, limitless truth. So Lord Brahma, he is, this Brahma Samhita is very beautiful, is powerful also. So Lord Brahma says a lot on Lord Krishna throughout the Brahma Samhita. So from the previous verses, we learn that the cause of all causes of this, the cause of this material sky is a partial sky, is a spiritual sky. The spiritual sky is a cause of this material sky. So first we have the spiritual sky, and then this material sky is manifested. And the sense object which is present in the material sky is sound. And from sky comes air. And when air is generated, the sense object which is present in air is a touch, the tactile touch, right? And now we have to, first we have the sound, and then the sound was present in the sky. Now in the air, when the touch comes, so we have sound and touch. And from air, fire is generated. And from fire, another sense object comes, which is form. So now we have sound, touch, and form. Then from the water, from the fire, water is generated. And from water, another sense object comes, which is taste. Now in water, we have sound, touch, form, taste. All these are present. And then earth is finally manifestation, is a final manifestation. And from water, the sense object coming from earth is a smell. That means that from water, earth comes, and from earth, we have smell. So we have all these together: sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. So earth contains all the 5 sense objects, right? So this is how this whole material creation is set into motion by the Lord. Now let's go to text 30. Text 30, it is, okay, I think I'll read text 30 once more. Okay. So it says, Vaikarikan manojagya. So manojagya, Vaikarikan. So we know, we will see how the senses were generated. Now, say Vaikarikan manojagya. So from the mode of goodness, the mind it came into existence from the mode of goodness. And in the second line of the verse, it says, Deva Vaikarika Dasa. That means the 10 kinds of demigods controlling the bodily movements come into existence from the mode of goodness. So from now, whatever is coming out of the mode of goodness, everything one by one will be explained here. And then in the second line of the verse, it says, Deva Vaikarika Dasa. So the 10 kinds of demigods controlling the bodily movement came into existence from the mode of goodness again. Here we are talking about the sum total of the mode of goodness. Whatever was there, it takes place the sum total, and all these different elements evolved from the Brahma Jyoti. Everything that is coming from the Brahma Jyoti. And then where is the origin of the Brahma Jyoti? The origin of the Brahma Jyoti is Lord Sri Krishna. He himself, he is the origin of everything, everything coming from him. And he is also called the Para-Brahman. So Lord Sri Krishna is also called, we know about the Brahman, the three aspects of the Lord, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So this is one of his aspects. So ultimately, everything is emanated from Lord Sri Krishna. But how this material energy works, that also is there. That will be discussed. We are going to discuss about it now. When this material creation takes place, there is a sum total of goodness. The whole sum total of goodness is there first. And then, as we have seen in previous verses, the time element churns all the free modes. The time element keep churning, not only the free mode, keep churning everyone. Time element is there. Everything happens according to time element. So it turns all the free modes every time. And then here, the mode of goodness is being discussed, how it happened. And in this sloka, and passion and ignorance will be discussed in further verses. So as I said before, from mode of goodness, mind came into existence. That is the universal mind, not our mind. So we also get our mind from the universal mind itself, but based on our karmic reactions, we get that kind of mind which we are destined to get from the universal mind, right? And initially from the universal mind, all the 10 demigods mentioned in the verse were created. There were 10 in the transition, 10 demigods were mentioned, so they were created from that. But what happened is only their bodies were created. Only their bodies were created and the souls entered them. The soul came from the spiritual sky, not from the material sky. Yes, even they were in the material world, even they were created first in the material world, but they were inanimate. And then the soul came from the spiritual sky and then entered the body. So same with us. It's the same. We don't belong to this material world. We belong to the spiritual world, but we got the material body based on our previous karma. So only body we get from material nature. The soul is spiritual. And so we don't belong to this material world. We belong to the spiritual world with Krishna. So it is sometimes, you know, when we talk about all this, it's so difficult, very difficult to understand, very, very difficult to understand about the creation, about why we are here, what we did in the past life, and what is going to happen later. All these is very difficult to understand. Sometimes we think that, okay, we are devotees, we understand, but it is so complicated to understand. We need to read again and again and listen to know what comes first, how did it happen, how the Lord created this material world, why he created this material world, why we are suffering. And even though sometimes we get the knowledge, we don't take it seriously. And then we keep on going round and round in the 8.4 million species of life. And then we ask ourselves, why are we suffering? So we have to think about it. We have to kind of ponder on it why? What is the reason? And Srila Prabhupada said, try and do and complete our business in this life itself and get out of this material world of this Janmam Mrityu Jara Vyadi, birth, disease, old age, and death. And Srila Prabhupada gives lots of examples how people are suffering in this material world, how children and family members are not taking care of elderly people. All these are there. So when I'm talking about it's difficult to understand, even though Srila Prabhupada has done so much translation and explanation in his purport, and other acharyas' books are there, and even though we read, still we find it very difficult. That is why it's nice to be on this platform and on other platforms to kind of listen to some speakers and learn from them. Even the speakers, they don't know anything sometimes. They just go and read more and do some search and then come and share a little bit of their knowledge. So this is very nice of Mataji, who is continuously hosting. So we have the opportunity to learn a little bit, and we should take advantage of it. Everyone should take advantage of it. So we know that for us it's so difficult to understand, but the Lord, with a glance, He created this whole universe with a glance only. So in the third line of the verse, it says, Dig Vatarka Prachetasvi. So dig means all the directions. All the directions. Vata means controller of the air. Arka means the sun. So like this, we see the different demigods who control different elements are created. And Prachetaha also means Varundev, who is the controller of the ocean. And Ashvi are the Ashwini Kumaras, twin brothers. The other healers and the other doctors of Ayurvedic medicine. Both of them, they are the gods of the Ayurvedic medicine. And then Bahni, the fire god, got generated. Then Indra, who is a king of heaven, he was generated. And then it says Upendra, Indra Upendra. So is a deity in heaven. So who is Upendra? Who is Upendra? We know Upendra is Vamanadev. This is another name for Vamanadev. And he appeared as the son of Aditi and Kashyap Muni. So what happened here? How did he appear as a son of Aditi and Kashyap Muni? And so once Indra attacked all the demigods, all the demons, and he killed them. He killed all the demons, and even Bali Maharaj he killed. And their guru, Shukracharya, he was away. He was not there. So when Shukracharya came back, he revived all the demons along with Bali Maharaj, who was kind of their leader. And all of them, Shukracharya told them to do yajna and to serve the brahmanas. So with great like austerity, all the demons, they started praying, doing yajna and serving the brahmanas, and they did big fire sacrifices, and with great faith they served the brahmanas also. And they were also very learned. They were not like not learned. They knew all the shastras and all. So when they did that, in the meantime, Indra and all the demigods, they were just enjoying themselves. They were not, they thought that, okay, we have killed all the demons, there is nothing to worry about. They were just enjoying themselves. But they didn't know that the demons were doing yajna and serving the brahmanas, and they were getting the strength and the benedictions. So then after some time, under the guidance of Shukracharya, they attacked the demigods. And when the demons attacked the demigods, they defeated the demigods and they took possession of the heavenly planet. Now, when the demigod approached their guru, Brihaspati, for help. Brihaspati said, I cannot help you because the demons, they have been doing yagna, and under the guidance of their guru, they have been serving the Brahmanas. So they got the strength and they got the power, and now nobody can defeat them. So all you have to do is just, you have to just abandon everything and you have to hide yourself. So then the demigods had to leave everything and they hid themselves. But Indra, he went to his mother, to Aditi, and he was complaining that Indra is used to very luxurious lifestyle, and he's always the king of heaven, you know, and now what happened? He lost everything. So Aditi, who is the mother of the demigod, she approached her husband, Kashyap Muni, and she asked what can she do just to relieve the pain of his sons, because all the demigods are his sons. So Kashyap Muni also, he was in a kind of a dilemma because the demons are his sons also from Diti, and the Devtas, the demigods, are his sons also from Aditi. Diti and Aditi are two sisters. One gave birth to the demons and one gave birth to the demigods. So then Kashyap Muni said, okay, you can do vrat, the Payovrat. It's nicely written in the Bhagavatam. And you can use a Payovrat, a very austere fast. And for 12 days, she had to do yagna, she had to serve the brahmana, she'd have to give charity, and she had to live only on milk one time in the evening. And then she did all these Payovrat, and for 12 days she served the brahmana. She did very, very austere fast. And that time Lord Vishnu was very happy, was very pleased with the vrat that she kept, with austerity. And Lord Vishnu appeared in front of her and asked her what she desired. Then she said, I want a son like you to defeat Indra, to defeat the Bali Maharaj and the demons, because my son Indra is suffering. So then Vishnu said, okay, I will appear as your son myself, because nobody can vanquish Indra. So I will appear now. Nobody can vanquish the demons because they are very powerful now. So I will appear as your son, as Vamandev. So then he appeared as Vamandev, and he went and he asked Bali Maharaj for precept of land, and we know that story, how it happened. And that is why he came. And we see throughout Bhagavatam, Indra keeps making mistakes, keep doing lots of nonsense, but he's always protected. Why? Because the Lord has promised Aditi that I will protect your sons. That no matter what Indra does, he's protected. We know how so many times in Bhagavatam it's written. So here in this text also is written Indropendra, which also means higher than Indra. That is, Vamandev is higher than Indra, and he is a deity in heaven. So Mitra is mentioned as one of the 12 Adityas, and the 12 Adityas are as follows: Vivasvan, Aryaman, Tatsva, Savitri, Bhaga, Datta, Mitra, Varuna, Amsa, Pushan, Indra, and Vamandev. So they are the sons of Aditi. Now the mode of goodness got transformed into mode of passion, and passion later on became, because of the material energy association, this passion degenerated into mode of ignorance. So because of passion, more creation happened, and people, because of this ignorance, like people keep building. They are passionate, they want to do something, they're always creating, they're always building. And then because of ignorance, then the time factor turns the mode of passion, and it is degraded into ignorance. Now, because of this ignorance, our existence happens in this material world. And based on our karmic reaction, we get further entangled in this material world. But human beings, we are meant to love Krishna and not to, that is our, we are meant to love and serve Krishna. That is our constitutional position. But due to ignorance, we create very many unnecessary so-called amenities in life, which we don't require. That is what Prabhupada says in his purpose, right? And we are wasting our precious time and this rare human body. This is not because there are so many humans in this whole world. People don't think how rare it is, comparing to 8.4 million species of life. I think there are only 400,000 species of human. Yeah. But now what we should do, this body is meant for self-realization, not for self-gratification. This is a very powerful sentence that my Guru Maharaj used to, all the time he used to say that. All the time, as soon as he would come into the temple, he would give a class. First thing he would say, what is the importance of his body? What is the meaning of his body? What is meant for? So he will repeat this all the time. And also we know that our soul is covered by material energy also. But actually, our soul has nothing to do with the material energy. Our soul, because our soul, we don't come from this material world. We come from the spiritual world. But since we are covered, we are covered by this material energy, we are living this material energy, we have got entangled in it. But we have to, it's kind of we are living an artificial way of life. It's not a natural way of life that we are living. So, like, how can I put it? So once we get the knowledge, we should try to get out of this entanglement. Okay, we should try to get out of this what is it called? This material world is called a word. Dukhalayam Asaswatam. So we have to leave this place. That's what Prabhupada said, do your business and go from here. So we are sometimes called the product of ignorance. So why we are called the product of ignorance? Because we rebelled against Krishna. We rebelled against the Lord, and then that's why we have to come in the material world, and we have become the servant of our senses. So even though we are struggling hard to find happiness, we can never find happiness in this material world, because this is the inferior energy of Lord Shri Krishna, and we are the superior energy. How can the superior energy find happiness in the inferior energy of the Lord? So we cannot be happy unless we engage ourselves in the service of Lord Shri Krishna. There is no other way, no other way. So that is why the Vedic scriptures always in Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, they stress on this verse, Om Asato Ma Sat Gamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya, Mrityur Mam Amritam Gamaya. Oh Lord, please lead me from unreality toward the truth. Lead us from darkness to light, spiritual knowledge, and from the world of mortality to the world of immortality. Material nature can be vanquished only by Lord Shri Krishna. We cannot vanquish her. If we take shelter of the Krishna, then we can, right? And also, we cannot artificially stop the senses from functioning. We cannot say, okay, I'm going to sit in a cave and just meditate, and we cannot do that either. So we must engage the senses. Senses must be engaged. Even if we sit in a secluded place and try to close our eyes, try to meditate, senses will not stay there. Mind will not stay there. We will have some needs. We'll have some things to do. So we should engage the senses in the service of the Lord. Engage senses in the service of the master of the senses, Rishikesha. Prabhupada explained Rishikesha. Rishika means the senses, and then Isha means the load of the senses. So if we don't do that, then the senses will automatically be under the influence of the material energy. So if we spiritualize the senses, then we revive our original senses. This is done only by bhakti yoga. If you don't do bhakti yoga, it's difficult. And if we are successful in our bhakti yoga process, then our path back to Godhead is guaranteed. Right? The most powerful method to spiritualize the senses in Kali Yuga is Sravanam Kirtanam. Hearing the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So dear devotees, I wrap up here on this note. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you for listening. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for today's session. Are there any questions or comments from the group? If there are no questions or comments, Mataji, I have a question, and that is only because I have missed few sessions. That's why I'm sure you others have covered in the group, but I just wanted to know if you can explain again, since we have some time, about how the material body is created. So about the earth, air, being the creator of the mind, and fire and all that. Please kindly elaborate on that, just because I have missed that. Sure.
Yes. So the sky is created first, and from the sky, then air is generated. So we have sky, then we have air, then we have sky, air. Oh, I forgot it myself now. Right. Okay. And we have sky, and then we have air, and then we have fire, air, sky, fire, water, and earth. 5 things. Right. So everything is generated from the sky. First the sky comes, and then air comes, and from air is what is it then? Sky. Then we have fire. No, sky, air, fire, water, earth. Sky, air, fire, water, earth. Right? And from each of them, one sense perception is generated. From the sky, we have sound, and from air, we have the touch, and from fire, we have the foam. The foam comes, and then from water, we have the taste, and from earth, what do you have from earth?
Smell, mother.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. I just said all this, I forgot. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Is that okay, Mataji? You are mute.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mataji. I will have to again think about it. So from air,
I will write it for you, Mataji. I'll post it.
Okay. From sky, the air comes, air, the fire comes, fire, the
water,
and then from water, the earth comes. And from earth, the smell comes. Then from
water, gets
taste.
Fire, get the foam, and then we get the
sky and the air. From air, we get the mind.
Sound.
Yeah. And
I'll write it for you.
Okay. And what is foam? Foam, Mataji?
Foam is from smoke. It's the foam, the human foam that we have.
The human foam.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mataji. Sorry for everybody for taking you back. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay, there's something on the chat. I think that we can read that. So, Hare Krishna Mataji, too. You mentioned two disciples, Narad Muni. One is Prahlad Maharaj. Who did you say is the other? Maybe you
Dhruva.
said Dhruv Maharaj, I think. Dhruva. Of
Yes.
all the trees, I am the banyan tree. Of all the sages among the demigod, I am Narada. Of all the Gandharvas, I am Chitraratha. And among perfect beings, I am the sage Kapila. Does that mean the sage Krishna is Kapila?
Here it says sage Kapila. So we know there are two Kapil Devs. One was a great sage. He came after. And first was Krishna, the incarnation of Krishna. That is Kapil Dev. That is another one. There are two.
So
Yes.
the sage Kapila is not Krishna, but Kapil
No.
Dev is Krishna.
Krishna, yes. Incarnation
Thank
of Krishna.
Thank you very much. I hope, Chandni Mataji, you are satisfied. Any other questions or comments?
I think Pramila Mataji has to do the comment.
Yes. If there are no comments, then can I request Pramila Mataji to end today's session by giving us a summary, if possible?
Thank you, Mataji, for this opportunity. And thank you, Indulekhamataji. It's very difficult to follow because you've given us such a lot of information here. So I will try to do a little justice to this, your lovely teachings. And so you reminded us about Narad Muni and Brahmaji and the questions that Narad Muni was asking Brahmaji, and who Brahmaji is the second creator, and he's informing Narad Muni of creation. So, he says, they say no machinery was used. And because the Lord actually created the world by his glance. So Narad Muni, you told us about Narad Muni, who preached to very great devotees such as Prahlad, Vyasadeva. He told us the story of Indra, who wanted to kill Prahlad in his mother's womb, and how he took her away to his ashram to protect Prahlad. And Prahlad learned a lot from listening to the discourses he heard in the womb from Narad Muni to his mother. And Narad Muni also helped Dhruv Maharaj. And then also, Narad Muni is meant to be helpful, really. So when Dakshapati was asked to create living entities in the world, he created 12,000 suns, and you told us about how Narad Muni more or less converted them into an ascetic way of life. And this annoyed the Daksha Prajapati. And then he went and he had 2,000 sons. And so even they were converted. And then Daksha went to Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma told him to create daughters then. So then there were 16, these very great daughters. Throughout the Bhagavatam, their stories are written. And so Narada also, his role was counseling people, helping people. He tried to help Kamsa by discussing how to kill the sons of Vasudeva. Lord Brahma was happy to answer Narad Muni questions. And Narad Muni was very austere. He traveled the universe to help others. So in this purport, Srila Prabhupada says a lot of machinery is manufactured, which is not necessary. And yesterday I was looking at the moon landing, and I thought, I wonder what Srila Prabhupada would be thinking of that. Not the So anyhow, you said that, we are superior because we are part and parcels of the Lord, and we are able to manipulate nature as a result. But the Lord creates differently, creates by his effulgence. And the spiritual sky and the material sky you told us a bit, and I don't know how much of this I have picked up correctly, how sound is produced, and then the air, and from the air, touch, from air comes fire, from fire, water, taste, earth is finally manifested, and we get the smell. And in text 30, you told us from the mode of goodness, the mind is generated, and the 10 times different gods controlling the different direction. And this comes from the Brahma Jyoti, which is who is the Lord, the Parabrahman, and everything is manifested by Krishna. So the time element is manifested early as well. So in the mode of goodness, the mind is created, the universal mind. And only the bodies of the gods were created. And then the soul came from the spiritual sky, same as us. The soul is spiritual. The body belongs to the material world. So we need to introspect our lives and try to get out of this material world. The different gods control different functions. These 10 different gods. And you told us about Upindra, who was Vamadev, and he appeared as the son of Kashyapati and Aditi, and how the demons did sacrifice and serve the Brahmins. They got very strong, they attacked the demigods, but they could not be defeated. So Indra went to his mother and complained. And you told us the whole story about Aditi, how she did discuss it with Kashyapati, who advised her to perform severe austerities to 12 days, and Lord Vamadev. Lord Vishnu was very happy, appeared to her, and she requested him to come as her son. And this is why he's always protected Indra, because Indra was always involved in some naughty acts, really. So, but he was always protected. And the mode of goodness generates into the mode of passion, and the mode of ignorance was created. So we came into the world in this entanglement of this material world, and we do acquire many unwanted things according to the teachings in the purport of Srila Prabhupada. This body is a self-realization. We need to introspect what is the purpose of this body. Our soul is separate from the material energy. So knowledge should help us get out of this material world. We are the products of ignorance, and we are the servants of our senses. We need to engage in the service of the Lord. And you told us there is no other way. We need to engage our senses in the service of the Lord of the senses, and who is Rishikesha. So the most powerful way of doing this is purifying our senses by hearing and chanting in this Kali age. You know, it's one of the easiest ways compared to the previous yugs, where prayers was done in a very difficult manner. So thank you, Prabhuji, Mataji. I do hope I did some justice to your discourse. It was so very good. Thank you. And thank you, Mataji, for giving me this opportunity. If you want to give this opportunity to other people at other times, please do, because you know I'm losing my voice slowly every day.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much. Thank you. You did more than justice. You got it so nicely. And the way you present it is like you encourage the speaker. And this is very nicely done by you. I don't think that anyone else would be able to do it as you do it. So thank you, Mataji. And please do some exercises for your voice. I do got the same problem. There are some exercises that we can do for the voice also, because as we grow older, you know, we get all these problems. So there are some exercises we can do. Hare Krishna. So yes, Mataji, over to you.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Yes, Mataji, I agree with you. Pramila Mataji summarizes so well, and that means she's really paying attention to what
Yes.
is being said. So imagine if she can do this service and um, take the concepts out of the speaker when she gives a class, it would be fantastic. So
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm
yeah,
sure of that. So
looking
we
forward
are
to her
waiting.
giving a class.
Yeah, we're waiting for.
Mataji, just to encourage everybody, so when you said, I mean, many devotees from this group might want to give a class. So where do we read? Because when I give a class, I just look at YouTube links. But is there any books or something that we should be reading before giving a class?
Not all the time we get correct correct information from YouTube. Also, you need to pick. You need to pick people from our sampradaya, like because there are lots of people who give classes. Sometimes they talk like other way, right? So yeah, there are some great, like we hear Prabhupada, we read the books. That is how I do. I don't have any specific any specific person that I can recommend you. I just listen. One person I like to listen is Nitai Sevani Mataji. She
Sorry?
speaks very well. Nitai Sevani.
Nitai Sevani. Okay.
Yes, she is
Thank
very great speaker. Yes, and there's Amarendra Prabhu also. There's Lal Govind. These people you can trust because they are ISKCON people. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry, can I add to that? There is a series of very short, sort of real summaries of the cantos called Brilliant as the Sun. And it is written by Krishna Dharma and Chintamani Dharma Dasi. And they are at the Manor and at Soho Street Books. You can buy them there or you could buy it online. But they have done really, really beautiful summaries of the different cantos.
Oh, that's nice. But
Yeah.
then
Thank
you know,
Thank you very
Mataji,
much for
that
yeah.
is nice. They have done summaries of the cantos. That is very nice. But then when we go verse to verse, we have to explain each verse. Summary is something else. Each verse, when you go, you cannot just take the summary of the canto and you put it in there. That is good. It's nice. Thank you very much. We are going to try and get the books and read it. So I was looking for kind of summary of the incarnations of the Lord. Mataji, can you put the recording up? Stop the recording, please.
Yeah, I'm just doing.